Oh my god, hey! Oh my god.
Don't bring them down because they are not in your level. There's a checklist to go through when you're doing people's makeup.
You can be straight and you can still do drag. You can be a girl and still do drag.
Is your name actually Jackie?
No, it's not.
Because I didn't have any other way to express the anger.
So it wasn't really well known until NESCC happened.
So,
Actually, let's talk about drama and cosplay.
I don't want to post my cosplays because I see a lot of drama and a lot of people overshadowing.
Oh, that judge is bad. Oh.
you don't even have to answer if you don't want to.
I don't have to, but I want to.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
No, connection is good, everything's good. So how are you? How's it going?
Life's good, man. How's things with you?
Amazing.
Enjoying Corona?
Amazing.
You guys don't have it as bad as we have.
Don't get me started. I'll need to rant to you after this about something terrible that is happening. But
Okay.
we'll talk, that's for another live. But today we are here to talk about the origins of Cosplay Arabia and how it started, the challenges that Cosplay Arabia have faced, and everything that has, piled up to create this incredible project, Cosplay Arabia. But before getting into that, let's talk about how we know each other and how we met. It was back in 2016, I think, or 17.
16 or 17, yeah.
Well, we first interacted in 2017, and what people don't know is that you guys were cosplayers as well, just like us. You were weebs, just like us. And we met in IGN, and our first interaction was when I was cosplaying as Edward Scissorhands, and you guys took a picture of us practicing, and we were nervous. And the picture turned out to be amazing, incredible.
Yeah,
So yeah, you're saying something.
Oh yeah, what people don't know about that story is that we actually spotted you guys from a far away. Haneen spotted you guys from a far away, and I think you were on one knee. It looked like a proposal happened. And
Yeah,
she
yeah,
was
we were
like,
practicing.
and she was like, take the picture. And I'm like, but we should ask them, consent.
Consent,
She's
yeah.
like, just take the picture. I'm like, okay, fine. so that turned out to be the first picture I took of you, actually. First
was,
of many.
Yeah. It was an amazing shot, and that's how we got to
Absolutely.
know each other.
I can see Haneen's in the comments. Loves. She's the co-founder of Cosplay Arabia, for people who don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna get into it and say that Cosplay Arabia is has a multiple talented and creative people behind it, but the main pioneers are you and Haneen. You guys started this all. Now, since you guys were cosplayers just like us, what made you want to make a change in the community? What made you say, you know what, let's step it up, let's do something that has never been done before, let's give these people what they deserve? What made you be the one to step up?
All right, so a little known fact, we actually attended, I think the first con we attended was 2015 IGN. We didn't know any of you guys. Haneen and me weren't together at the time either. We were just friends. We came down from Saudi with a bunch of friends and her brother. And we really enjoyed this con. And right after the con is when me and Haneen got together. So conventions have a special place in our heart, and we wanted to do something more. We actually thought of doing conventions first, but then we noticed cosplayers. And actually, one of the things that we came down in 2015 was also because I heard there's cosplayers. And I was like, okay, cool. I want to go check out some people, in costume and things like that. So I wore a Superman casual. It was so casual, people asked me, who are you? So that's how casual it was.
Wait, 2015?
2015. 15 or
Which
16.
convention?
IGN. 15 or 16. The first one, we weren't cosplaying. We were super casual. The ones I did cosplay was, I think, 17 with Red Hood and
The Assassins?
Did medley. No, We did first, I think, Red Hood and Medley, and then we did Assassins the year after. Should.
So what made you
So,
want to make a change in this community?
you guys were underrepresented, I felt, back then, is that cosplayers weren't getting the push that they deserve. You know, you guys are multi-talented. There's so many facets that go into cosplaying, whether it's crafting, whether it's acting, whether it's putting the ensemble all together and giving a whole package thing. And cons, without naming any, for obvious reasons, did not really give you guys the attention that I thought you guys deserved. And there was never a magazine done in the Middle East, so put 1 and 2 together and turned pioneers. And Haneen, of course, supported the whole thing all the way. And you know, that's how it actually started.
Like with conventions,
Okay.
cosplayers are not the main highlights. That's it's a well-known fact. Cosplayers are not a main highlight. But right now, the focus is shifting. It's not really shifting. It's just being divided more equally. You know what I mean? Like conventions now happen for cosplayers and for people who go there to meet cosplayers as well. Like
Sure.
all tournaments and all other shows aside, cosplayers are becoming a main, like a major highlight of the convention. And do you think that if Cosplay Arabia if Cosplay Arabia would didn't happen, do you think that conventions would have still, do you think conventions would have considered focusing on cosplayers if Cosplay Arabia didn't happen? Like, do you think that because of Cosplay Arabia, a lot of people are paying more attention?
We definitely put a spotlight on it. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes talk that we've had with several conventions to highlight cosplayers. We even took a few cosplayers. I think Angel was the first one to Dubai Comic Con, and then we had iCosplay as well this year. So we did shed some spotlight. I wouldn't go to the extent of saying that we made it what it is, because that goes to the pioneers, that goes to Sal, that goes to Mustafa, Enforcer Channel, and these guys. These guys are there from 2010, 11. So, I mean, these are the guys that brought it to this point. But of course, we're trying to take it to the next level. And putting a name of a magazine behind a niche like cosplay actually makes events, makes companies, makes sponsors notice. And that was our goal. And we actually did. Initially, it didn't quite work out that way. I had several meetings in the beginning with a lot of companies that I won't name, but they didn't believe that cosplay would be anything more than just a hobby, or they didn't take it seriously. And I think most cosplayers will agree with this, that whether it's a convention, whether it's an event, whether it's a company, they weren't taking it too seriously, because at the end of the day, it's a hobby. They're college kids. That's the general persona. Even though people who are older in their 30s and 40s do cosplay, but they're not really focused. So now that we've reached this stage where we're able to have an open dialogue, we have, we're doing the work we're doing with DDC, which is a purely gaming conference. It's not related to cons. There's no people. There are people which are from Google, Facebook, Square Enix, game developers, and those kinds of things, and they're noticing. And this cosplay contest that we're doing with them right now is the first that they've ever done, because this is the first time they've actually, looked into it. We sent a lot of stuff to them, and they got happy, and they're pushing it, and I'm hoping to get more registrations from you guys. And Batman, thank you. Yes, I'm in my 30s too, so we need to acknowledge the fact that we're just not there.
More on that later. We'll talk more about the competition and the contests that are coming up. But every project or every success stories must go through a lot of challenges and must go through a lot of obstacles that prevent or even create absolutely no hope for the project to succeed. What are some of the challenges that you think that Cosplay Arabia has gone through that our viewers would benefit from? I personally know a lot, but what would you want to tell people that they can benefit from? Because you guys didn't give up. after
That's the thing.
many obstacles.
That's the most difficult part of it, because persevering is the most difficult part of this. When we started, even before we printed our first edition, we met with a convention. Again, I can't really name them, but hey, Bara, you probably know this story.
Oh, Farah is joining. Anyways,
So, so they did not take it seriously, and they basically told me that this wouldn't work. And they're not the only person that told me that this wouldn't work. But persevering through it, because when you have a vision and you have these cosplayers that are so passionate, all you guys, you guys put in your efforts. You guys put in so much time. Like, Hala Haitham, Angel. We all know that. Not a lot of people know that story. Anyway, so when you guys put this, like we had Extended Yan yesterday, and he made one chess piece which took 100 hours, he says, to craft. 100 hours. That's a lot of money and like labor time,
a lot of effort goes into cosplay. Like a lot of money goes into it. There's like literally just, it's too much effort that is not recognized.
Precisely.
And that's the thing, like maybe because it's such a niche here in the Middle East, or like in general, because cosplay is not something that, if you're a kid growing up and you tell your parents that you want to go up to become a cosplay, you're a failure basically to your parents. Like it could be taken as a freelance side job, but like when it comes to major conventions, cosplay is always like the last thing that they would look at.
It's
so. Go on.
It's your show, buddy. Go on.
The reason why I'm asking you this is because I see Cosplay Arabia going somewhere. Everyone is seeing Cosplay Arabia like becoming something really important in our community. But again, behind every success story, there are obstacles. And what advice would you give people, like young entrepreneurs or like young cosplayers or young actors? Like, what advice would you give them besides don't never give up? Like, what is the driving force that would motivate them to keep going?
Have a vision. Have a vision and know where you're going, because that was the first mistake we made. We knew we were going with the magazine, and then there was pretty much nothing that came after that. This is one of the initial, hiccups that we had. So now we have a more clear vision of where we're going until 2021 September. Like I have a end goal at 2021 September. So know where you're going, and try to make money. Because that's another thing that we struggled to do, was we gave a lot of things, we supported a lot, and we love the cosplayers a lot, but as a business, that doesn't work. So if somebody's trying to make money off of this or do it as a career, you need to know exactly.
It's not really that reliable.
You need to know exactly. No, it can make money. Anything that you put your effort into and market properly can make money, but you need to know what you're doing. Like you need to have an end goal. And have a commodity that you can sell, a service or a commodity that's sellable, period.
Now, most people know Cosplay Arabia for the magazine because the first and second magazines launched back in late 2018?
Yeah, late 2018, first edition.
Late 2018, early 2019, second edition. And people remember Cosplay Arabia for the magazine. For the ones that are still confused, what exactly is Cosplay Arabia? Like, it is more than just a magazine. So how would you explain for the new viewers and for people who don't know what Cosplay Arabia is exactly?
Cosplay Arabia started off as a magazine, as you mentioned. Yeah. Apparently Siri just decided to wake up. Anyway.
Okay.
So 2018 was our first in December, and of course April 19 was our second. Now, Cosplay Arabia started off as a magazine, but it became so much more because it united everyone from the Middle East who loves cosplaying. I mean, I've gotten messages, and I know people now from Algeria and Tunisia, which I never knew. So a big shout out going to those cosplayers if they've tuned in. Iraq, you introduced me to the Iraqi cosplayers.
Yes.
So thank you for that community. And Lebanese community is doing well. Egypt is doing some really great stuff over there. So all in all, Cosplay Arabia now is an umbrella. We have going on the cosplay contest, which we'll talk about later. We have events where we're partnering up with as a media sponsor, which means we're covering their events, covering cosplayers specifically, and anything to do with them related to the event. And we're moving on to some shows, which I will talk to you about later. But we have about four shows planned. So that's something that we're going to involve a lot more cosplayers and a lot more experienced cosplayers like Vega, and everyone's going to be there. So that's something that's to look forward to, like end of the year or beginning next year. Again, because of the situation, we had to push it.
Pandemic.
Yep. And there's something more as well, which I can't announce now. So right now it's an umbrella. It's an umbrella where cosplayers can it's a community building thing, and it's a business thing together.
Now, the cosplay community is growing, and the family of Cosplay Arabia is evolving. It's growing. We have a lot of new ambassadors. There's a lot of fresh talent in town, and it is really becoming something. It is becoming a phenomenon. So,
I hope
it is. It is going there, and Cosplay Arabia is also partnering up with the DGC.
Yes, the Digital Gaming Conference, or Games Conference.
Now tell us more about that, please.
So Digital Games Conference is based in Dubai. It's their 4th annual edition, happening in June 21 to 23rd, later this month. And they're basically a game developer hub. They support developers in Middle East, and they also have like a lot of people coming in, international speakers, game developers themselves being present. And this year they're doing it obviously online because of the situation. So everything's happening on their website, which is, I think, dgcgames.com. So we partnered with them as we're the complete organizers of their mini cosplay contest, which you guys have heard about. We already have the registrations going on. You just have to submit a video. It doesn't have to be 2 minutes specifically. It could be 1.5 or whatever, but 2 is the limit. And
any specific intel you want to tell us about?
Yeah, we can actually announce that.
Can we announce?
Yes, you can announce there. Okay. The main cosplay judge that will be there would be Kate Edwards. Kate Edwards was the executive director of International Game Developers Association, and right now she is the CEO of Geography, which does cultural appropriation for games and things like that, and they consult games. So Kate Edwards is also a cosplayer. You need to look her up. We're actually going to announce this later. I'm doing it exclusively on your live.
Exclusively.
Yeah, of course. So she is going to be the main cosplay judge and holding the panel on 21st to decide the winners. And you need to check out her cosplay. She does some really crazy Thor cosplay. She loves that character.
You told me she is... How old is she? How long has she been in the...
She's been cosplaying for a long time. I mean, she's upwards of 50, but I mean, that just goes to show, like my t-shirt says, you're never too old to cosplay. So you have to...
I need a Cosplay Arabia merch.
Oh yeah, there's merch. I'm going to send it to you, don't worry.
This is the only thing that I have.
Oh yeah, no, we got 4 designed T-shirts, which were supposed to be at, MEFCC, but couldn't make it there.
Now, there's another thing that is happening. Am I allowed to say the month when the...
For Cosplay Arabia? We're not paying attention to anyone in the comments. Should we go?
We'll get to them. I know.
Because there's a lot going up.
I know. We're gonna scroll and then we're gonna go through them. But I need to know, because I'm excited. A lot of people are excited about the Cosplay Arabia Middle East contest. Is it contest or challenge?
It is the challenge.
Challenge. Okay.
No, I can give you some details on that. The contest itself is going to be in September. Ahmed Raganov, much love. Allah. So the contest itself is in September. The reason why is because we're giving you enough time to make a cosplay. The criteria, or the eligibility criteria, is it has to be a new cosplay. So 2 months, or 2.5 months is about enough time, even with the corona situation, to come up with something. Mm-hmm. And we're having a lot of... the judges are all international, so they're all celebrity judges. And of
Nice.
course, the new category that I announced, which was for photographers, is exclusive. I don't think there's any event in the Middle East that I'm aware of that actually awards cosplay photographers. And it's about time that somebody recognize them for their
For
efforts.
the art of photography, yeah. Now, you brought up the pandemic, and a lot of people have free time on their hands right now. Not us, not in Bahrain, but in general, people have a lot of free time to really invest in their talents and their passion. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity for cosplayers that are sitting at home to, work on themselves and build something from scratch. So I'm definitely looking forward for the competition. And do we have any news about the prizes, or is that to be announced?
For Kamek is, by the
Yeah.
way, for people that don't know, Kamek is Cosplay Arabia Middle East Challenge, just to
Yes.
shorten it down. For Kamek, we have prizes. Kamek is mostly going to be cash prizes.
Cash. Money, money, money.
Yeah, everybody's
All right,
favorite. And now because
Okay.
you guys invest that much money, so we think you should get a chance to make
Give
all
us
of it
back
back
our
or some of it back. Yeah.
All right. Now, if you want, we can dive into the comments and talk to the viewers and see what is going on.
Yes. She edits is giving us a
Usually,
lot of hearts.
usually, like when I do these live chats, I often forget to read the chats. I mean, the comments, because I'm so into the conversation that I forget. But I'm gonna make sure to read each and every single one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. Oh wait, I didn't write.
By the way, guys, this is the first time I'm ever doing a live, so be nice. Especially
Be
Angel.
nice.
Yes.
The origins of Cosplay Arabia. Okay. Now, let's see. Not the first time. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm so rude to my viewers. I don't read the comments. Oh, any current costume isn't allowed. Mine is considered new. So tell us more about that. Like, if
Which
a
contest?
cosplayer. Okay, which contest?
Mm-hmm.
But generally, there's a lot of, controversy behind whether the contestant has a brand new costume or has it been showcased before? Is it bought? Is it self-made? Is there anything specific that the Cosplay Arabia contest looks at specifically when it comes to costumes?
Okay, so we have the best of show. There you go. One category's dropped now. So we have the best of show, and that one is very exclusive because we have the situation where I've heard and I've seen physically that a cosplayer or a group of cosplayers did the same cosplay at Insomnia Saudi, and then they did the same cosplay in Insomnia Dubai, and then they did the same cosplay in Bahrain Comic Con, and they won each and every
time.
place. And that is great for them, but it's also kind of not giving chance to others, which is in a way not fair. So for Cosplay Arabia specifically, if you've won a major event using the same cosplay, first of all, it has to be new. So that kind of eliminates, that's how we took care of that part. But generally, if you have something that you've already used before, you're thrown into another category. You can't compete for the top prize. So there is an exhibition category, which is for people who bought their cosplays or they've not really made more than 60%, which is our cutoff criteria for the top spot. For them, there's an exhibition category. So there is something else that you can compete in, but you can't compete for the best of show.
But it's for everyone. Like anyone can compete. Newcomers and OGs. Like,
Of course. It's
costumes.
open to everyone. We started off with 3 categories plus photography, and now we've gone to 4 categories plus photography. So we're actually adding more categories to be more inclusive to different kinds of cosplayers, different strengths. Somebody's really good at crafting, but somebody's really good at presenting. So I think everybody should get recognition.
I can't wait to see
Alex Cam, this is for Kamek, which is our cosplay contest happening in September. But the one that's happening now for DGC is only one criteria. It has to be gaming. That's it. It has to be a video game character or someone that was debuting in a video game.
I don't know if I asked you this before, but is there a performance category or like? I think I did ask you. I'm not sure. Like, is
For
performance judged as well?
Kamek?
For Kamek. Yeah.
Kamek is, as of now, not doing performances basically because people are finding it a bit difficult to do performances from home. You know, not many people have the space or the lighting or things that they want to do. So right now we have photography and videos for crafters, which is they have to show us them making. You know, we need snippets of them actually crafting. So it's kind of like reconfirming what they did, plus explaining what they did. So our cosplay judges can actually judge them based on what they did.
So craftsmanship.
Craftsmanship
a
is
major
a major one, yes. But we also have the exhibition one. And we also have, I'm basically opening all the cards at this point. So we also have a People's Choice. There's another category.
Ooh, okay. Fan favorite, basically.
Fan favorite. So that's the reason why
Okay.
we added fan favorite, because it would be unfair to have a crafters division, but not something for people who do put time into their presentation, photography, things like that.
Interesting. That's very new. The fan favorite part is
We're always doing something new, man.
innovative. Sending love from Amman, my dudes. A lot of people from Amman. Angel, come back. I'm depressed. Can't go there. We're all depressed. We can't travel. The criteria for which contest? Let's see. People are talking about chips.
Chips?
Potato chips.
Oh,
Someone's hungry.
okay. Who likes potato? Okay, which flavor? That's my question.
You know the chips Amman one? Like it's the spicy one, the small. It's spicy. Chips Amman is spicy. We have it here. Armor cosplay should have their own category.
They do. Craftsmen have their own category.
Okay.
Who said this, by the way?
I don't want to travel, just want to move with my dad there. Your dad's in Amman?
Oh,
I will try.
I have apparently had Omani chips, so if it's
Are we
spicy,
still
I
talking about
probably like
chips?
it. Yes. Now, I mean, we go with where the people want us to go.
Paprika chips, basically. Okay. We're still
I
talking
have
about
had
chips. So, it's all about tips. Interesting. Let's see. Sending the. What about sewing skills? Is that also under craftsman with the armor?
Yes, that would also come under craftsman because it's in the same category. Also, it could be eligible for best of show. Anyone that's made more than 60% is eligible for craftsman and best of show.
Nice. Awesome. Hello. Okay, if there's anything specific that you guys want to know besides our favorite flavor of chips, please comment down below. Do you have a 5-year vision for Cosplay Arabia? This is a good question.
This is a great question.
Tell us.
Previously, I had a 5-day vision for Cosplay Arabia. So at this point, we've reached. I have a 2-year vision, and the problem with having a 5-year vision is I know what I want it to be, which is the home of cosplay in Middle East. That's our tagline. That's where we're aiming to be. But in 2 years, I expect to see. I mean, last year nobody would have known that this year would turn out like this. So if I say I can specifically have a goal, I have a goal, yes. But do I know where we will be in 5 years? Hopefully, still around. That's my answer.
I mean, like, it's difficult to have a goal and maintain it because constantly goals do change with time.
Exactly.
You do modify them here and there. So it's difficult to put your goal out there, just keep it for yourself. And then once you get there, you'll let people know that was your goal.
Exactly.
Alex has a cosplay question. So yeah, let us know down in the comments if there's anything specific that you guys want us to talk about or you guys want us to know. By the way, this is going to be a 2-part live. So in a few, let's say maybe 10 more minutes, I'm going to end it and then I'm going to restart. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
Usually
okay.
my lives are
as long as people aren't bored enough to leave, we're good. I'll be here as long as you guys need me.
Chips.
Now you guys are making me hungry with all this chips talk.
Yeah, like it's still about chips. Like, we're talking about cosplay, not chips. So
Hello.
once the pandemic is over, I hope that we can have a reunion, especially here in Bahrain, where it all started. By the way, do people know that it started in Bahrain?
Now, I mentioned it several times, but if people don't know, we started in Bahrain. We're still based in Bahrain. We're trademarked in Bahrain. So that's our home.
Okay, how do you decide what to post and who to post on your page? That's a good question.
That is a very good question. And it has to be from Shuri, because how do you say your name? Like, that's my first question. I actually had this question before this live even went on. I was like, Shu edits? Shui edits?
Her name is Saad.
I know her name is Swad. Yeah, I've actually we had some emails exchanged, but I just want to know her username. But coming to the actual point. Shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
The actual point. Okay, so we have a social media team that's actually like basically Google crawl bots at this point. We've really gone through. My database right now has over 270 cosplayers from the Middle East. And we're just constantly crawling through a lot of profiles. We're finding we have average cosplayers, or like beginners, I would say. And we have pros, we have intermediate levels. We've categorized them by country, by level of expertise. And we're constantly seeing, we do need you to have a good picture. So I cannot emphasize enough to work with a photographer. Not right now, but generally try to work with a photographer, because your cosplay could be the best, but if you don't have a good picture of it or a good quality picture of it, it's not going to look appealing at all. So you want to have the best representation. I've already put that much effort. Most of these photographers are at events, or you can even get in touch with them off event time. I know a lot of them that do this for the hobby or for supporting the cosplayers, and get some really good pictures. So that's another thing that we check. The best pictures and the good cosplayers, we feature them. That's on the page feed. Now, how do we get the monthly features and ambassadors? Well, that we need more time. That one normally we have a lot of cosplayers that talk to us on DMs, or we see their comments, or we get to know them a bit before we announce them as a ambassador, because the ambassador program goes for 16 months. And it's a complete developmental program that we have, which starts them off whichever level they're at, helps them both financially and with social media strategies to grow, build up their income sources. Like, for example, some of them are on coffee now because of us, because they can get fan-sponsored cosplays. Always good to offload a little bit of your burden. You can't keep throwing. Some of them just don't have the resources to have that much money put into their cosplays. So get crowdfunding. This is how they do it internationally. There's nothing wrong with it. So the 16 months is us literally taking them from the level they're at and trying to reach another level that we have a goal in mind. And that one takes time. That one, we need you to interact with us. We need you to tell us your story. We need you to figure out who you are and where we can put you in the ambassador program.
But generally, like when on the Instagram posts, it's inclusive. Anyone can tag and anyone can be featured, correct?
Yes. For the feed, I don't think there's any country we've left. I mean, in the Middle East, in the region, of course. We do feature some international cosplayers now and then. And that's just to kind of give our cosplayers a sense of how they're doing it abroad. I mean, a lot of our cosplayers do follow international celebrity cosplayers, but the style of photography for our photographers and the cosplay itself for our cosplayers. So we're trying to keep these two things in mind. So we feature some of the best ones that catch our eyes. We feature them on the feed. But generally, if you talk about it, 80% of our feed, or 85%, is Middle East cosplayers, because this is a Middle East page.
Cosplay Arabia. Nice. Now, something that I want to add to that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it relates to the cosplay magazine, the first and second one, and some people may ask, how were people selected? I can answer to that, and I can say that there was a link provided on the Cosplay Arabia page, and anyone could apply, and then they get selected.
Pretty much.
True or false?
Pretty much, yeah. We actually even
Pretty
had
much. So,
shoot schedules, yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. So it started with the links, and anyone could apply. Just putting it out there. There was no favoritism. It was fair. Anyone could apply.
Anyone could apply, and we checked out their cosplays, of course. There is a cutoff.
Just addressing the rumors.
Oh, there's a rumor. Okay, no,
Yeah.
no, it was pretty fair. We try to be as fair as we can. We always try to be as fair as we can. The extent to which we take care of our cosplayers is like certain cosplayers we talk to even on our DMs. When other cosplayers do takeovers, we actually make sure we wipe our DMs. That's how much we take care of, their information and things that they're telling us and things like that. So there's a lot of care taken for cosplayers that they don't even know about, that we just do behind the scenes. Now, as far as the favoritism is concerned, there is no favoritism. It was more about the fact that Bahraini cosplayers were there and we were more exposed to them. So maybe that's why we featured a bit more. And then we went to Riyadh and we had, Ahmed Draganov, we had iCosplay, we had a host of, Yasmin, Jasmine, all of these people in here, of course. In here, unfortunately, I couldn't do her photo shoot because it didn't schedule very well. But Abdullah from Cosplay KSA, he did the photo shoot for her. And of course, we did it with collaboration with Cosplay KSA. There's another rumor that I would probably address that Cosplay Arabia is trying to. We are an umbrella, but we also take care for local cosplay groups. There's UAE cosplayers with Khalid. Shout out to him. A lot of love to him. There's Abdullah with Cosplay KSA, IQ Cosplays for Iraq. So we're not taking away anything from these guys. If anything, we're trying to provide more for them.
Yeah.
Exactly. What was your question? Because I think I rambled on for a bit.
No, it was, I just wanted to address because, we've spoken about this before and there was a rumor that there was favoritism. And I firsthand know that it was very fair and square and it was all through a link, how people were selected. A lot of people applied because I was involved more behind the scenes. So I know that everyone had a fair shot, including myself. It was through a link. Just putting it out there.
Everything happens through a process. Now we have our website, which is now the main link for everything that happens with us.
Angel has something to say. Other than having to be diplomatic with ungrateful ones that you are trying to help, is there another way to deal with them? Yes, Angel.
Angel setting the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Another way to deal, I don't think you should deal with toxic people. It's better to just leave them where they are, because no matter what you say or do for them, they're not going to change their opinion of you. Or I just don't think it's worth your time. But if
I think she's talking like generally, in general, like how do you deal with people? I mean, for you, from Cosplay Arabia's point of view, how do you deal with people that try to, well, not directly, but indirectly try to bring Cosplay Arabia as a whole down?
We don't address it. To be honest, I'm just going to keep doing my work. And this is what I tell Haneen as well, and Haneen agrees, is that we're going to keep putting in our efforts and our work 100% into it, and it's going to show. So you can try to bring us down, talk bad about us, and trust me, we're fortunate enough to have well-wishers in every country, whether it's Dubai, whether it's Bahrain, so we get to know. But we've never, broadcasted it on the page or done anything like that because I just don't think it's worth it. I think it's better to do your work, you shine, and if somebody thinks that I'm an ass, for example, it's fine. But they should also know that his work and his work ethic is something else. That's what gets you to where you want to get.
Now we have two more questions. Let's answer them in the second chat. I'll read them out loud now, but then we'll answer them in the next live, just to keep people going. The first question is from Angel. Do you have blacklisted cosplayers that you'd never deal with? Don't worry, won't ask you to share the list. Question number one. Number two, what do you find most challenging to you personally towards growing the magazine and its purpose? And okay, we have two more questions. Why would people want to bring you down, though? What are the things you consider when you're picking the new ambassadors? Okay, answer these two questions, and then we'll answer the longer questions in the next one. So what are the things you consider when you're picking a new ambassador?
Okay, so for me, it's ease to work with. So I usually call them. Any ambassador, before we pick them, we usually call them and talk to them at least once or twice. Our social media teams kind of scouts through their social media. There's a lot of social media stalking that goes into this, just to know your personality, the type of personality you have, and your work. Because
Shout
there
out
are a
to
lot
Yasmina.
of... Yasmina, hey. Okay, so...
No, she's not here. I'm just saying social media team, Yasmina.
Yes, Mina, of course, that's one of our social media people. I also personally go through certain profiles or things that I think are relevant. Haneen helps as well. So it is a team effort. Now, the problem happens is that sometimes you have really great cosplayers, but they don't have the team spirit or the attitude to work in a team. And ambassadors initially start off singular, and then they are going to be a team, which I've already discussed with all the ambassadors. I'm assembling my own Avengers team, basically. so I need to wear a patch.
Collecting the Infinity Stone.
Yeah. So that's another very important aspect. Is your work should be good. You should have a good community standing, which is, you don't need to be like super having 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 followers or anything like that. It's just your work and your attitude is the two most important things that will get you through the door to be an ambassador. The rest of it will get you to 5,000 followers, or at least we'll try.
Okay, so Angel's question was first. Are there any blacklisted cosplayers? You don't have to say, you don't have to mention who, but you don't even have to answer if you don't want to.
I don't have to, but what if I want to?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'll tell you one thing. There's no cosplayers that are blacklisted in the sense that they haven't blacklisted themselves, to be honest. It's something that they've self-imposed. Because of whatever circumstances, which I won't get into, they chose not to be, and that's their right. They choose not to be included in Cosplay Arabia features or the magazine or our programs. It's fine, because it's completely their choice, and we're okay with that. But from Cosplay Arabia side, we're super inclusive. I mean, every race, every gender, every, you name it, and
every style of cosplay.
Every style of cosplay. We're there.
Does that answer your question, Angel?
I know who Angel's talking about.
Okay, so what do you find most challenging to you personally towards growing with the magazine and its purpose? Well, let's say with Cosplay Arabia and its purpose, because it's not focused on the magazine anymore. What's
challenging is getting people on board, getting people to support. You have to understand that I don't think there's ever been something like Cosplay Arabia. We've had the great communities being run by iCosplay. We've had some great communities being run by Saud in Dubai. They've run some really good communities, and they are de facto the leaders of those communities. But something all-encompassing and as big as Cosplay Arabia, there hasn't been. So almost everything that we're doing is for the first time. We have some guidance from international magazines or international publications which we're following. But when it comes to Middle East, the application of those things become completely different. So we're learning that the hard way, and we test something out, and then we go back and we redo it and see the results. What I need and what we need is for everyone to come together and support one thing. It's not about us being from Bahrain, so we're only for Bahrain, or we're from Saudi, only from Saudi. It's not like that. It's something where all the cosplayers need to come together, because if we have a united voice, we'll be able to get more activities for you guys. We'll be able to have more sponsors. We'll be able to have more events happening. So that's something that's been challenging. There have been some really good supporters. The 13 people here that are watching are really good supporters, and several that check out our page every day, and we feature a lot of cosplayers every day for that particular reason, is to get more people involved and more people engaged with the content. Plus, we're always listening. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that has DM'd us that hasn't gotten a reply within a few minutes, or maximum a couple, like 2-3 hours.
And do you think that is possible? Like, do you think there is a potential unity forming? I mean, in every community, there has to be drama. There has to be, one or two people. No, like it's a general fact that in every community, there must be something that happens that doesn't allow it to stay. Like, doesn't allow them to be like one hand. You know what I mean? There's always a downfall in every community, but in cosplay or like in here in the Middle East in general, do you see a unity forming?
There is. I think cosplayers in the Middle East are very good to each other as long as there's no common friend that heard something, or went through something. I know a lot of Lebanese cosplayers that are super supportive of the ones in UAE. UAE cosplayers are like one of the best communities when it comes to supporting others from other places. Bahrain, Saudi are some of my favorite people because they're just so friendly. And plus, I grew up here, so I'm biased. But yeah, there is a unity forming. It's slow, and there is still internal problems, but that's going to be there. Wherever you have an organization or wherever you have a group of people meeting, they're not all going to agree on the same things. But what's important is that they're respectful to each other. That is something that is the most important thing. I can have a different sort of opinion with you, but I can still respect you. I can respect your opinion, and I'm going to keep my opinion, and that's it. Or maybe we're going to exchange opinions and whatever. And if I really don't like you, then I'm just going to avoid you the best I can and keep to myself instead of spewing negativity and venom towards you, because that's never productive.
Mm-hmm.
Zainab has something to say. I can just read it right there.
If you were to meet a child version of yourself, do you think they would be shook on your project? What's one question you would think they would ask you? A child version of yourself. Mini Ibrahim.
If you ask Haneen, I'm still a child. Honestly, I've done a lot of projects.
I don't think cosplay existed back then. I mean, it did, but it wasn't as big as it is right now.
San Diego Comic-Con has been going on for 50 years, so cosplay has been around for a while.
But in our region.
In our region, no. In 2010, I think Summer, right? Summer is the pioneer on that one. Summer Elmir.
2010, yes, in Bahrain.
Yeah, Summer Elmir is the pioneer on that one. So I have high regards for her as well, because certain people that supported Cosplay Arabia in the beginning, and I told this to you as well several times, are people that I don't forget and I don't, disregard. Because back when we had nothing, if you supported us and you came, like Summer and Bara and Tahir from Porsche, all these guys that came and supported Cosplay Arabia when it was just like an infant, just a little tiny plant, a sapling. Those are the important people that are not expecting much. So back to your question, I've done a lot of projects. I had another project called Blazing Rims, which was dedicated to cars. It ran for 6 years. It was quite successful. We did 2 auto shows in the universities in Saudi. The biggest shows at the time, because we had 2,700 male, because there was no family at the time. So we had 2,700 males visiting in 2 days. So it was one of the biggest auto shows in the Eastern province, in Sharqiya, basically. And of course, I had like Mercedes and all these people as sponsors. So I've been doing like a lot of projects. So little me would not be surprised that I took on another project.
Were you always did you always have that entrepreneurial mindset as a child growing up? Or you always do you always put your mind into something and make sure that you do whatever it takes to achieve it? Did you always have that mindset as a child?
Yeah, it's called being stubborn. Yeah, I've always been stubborn. That's true enough.
You guys work so much. You've done so much. We thank you so much, really. Yes, you guys are truly fantastic and
Thank
support
you.
the cosplay community so well. We couldn't thank you enough. Oh, that's sweet.
Proximity, thank you.
Paris, why do so many cosplayers have conflicts with Cosplay Arabia? I've heard it many times.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You tell me.
Epic.
You've heard it, so you have to
Right,
tell
sir.
us. Halabara.
You guys, if you were to meet, okay. So yeah, that's the last question. It's from Paris.
My question went back to Paris. It's you have to
Okay.
tell us what the conflict is because we are only aware of a few rumors, and I mean, if somebody comes to us and says it to our face, we'll acknowledge it. We'll try to sort it out. I mean, emails are open, telephones are open, DMs are open.
No, I think like the best way to deal with a conflict, as you said, is either to address it personally, like have a one-to-one conversation with that person, and like often it doesn't end up the right way, but at least you've done your job to get it sorted. And like it depends on the person and it depends on the situation itself. That's how I think. And like as long as you've done your part to sort it out, because for me personally, like I'm the type of person that would wanna like just have a peace of mind and keep every conflict aside and just get it over with as soon as possible. But if I see no hope with the situation, I'd just let it go.
Like many refuse to work with you. Their
How does
loss?
anyone get into
I don't know.
what?
I would say their loss, but I'm not going to be that cocky. I'm going to say, what do they know about us to refuse to work with us? I mean, it's completely their choice. If they choose not to work with us, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to chase anyone down and say, you're forced to work with us now. It's never going to be the situation.
How does anyone get into a conflict with Cosplay Arabia? They're always so nice and polite when they're talking to cosplay. Cosplay Arabia has always welcomed all cosplayers of all levels. Fact. True. Okay, so that's it. Now, is there anything specific you'd like to point out, like besides Cosplay Arabia? I mean, before Cosplay Arabia, you guys, I mean, you still have MIA Shot, or as we know it as Mia Shot. And
Yeah.
are there any other accounts or other projects that you guys are currently working on, or like are actively working on?
No, I mean actively no. I mean there are accounts like I mentioned, my automotive club. It was an automotive club back in the day, but no, actively it's just Meershot and Cosplay Arabia. Meershot is basically you guys have already seen a lot of our pictures on Cosplay Arabia actually featured. We do a lot of cosplay photography as well, but that's a completely different line of our hobby or passion or income.
Some just thrift on drama. Oh,
Yeah,
we're still talking about that.
yeah. I mean, Paris is like quiet, so we're waiting for a response. Thrive. Okay, she meant some just thrive on drama. Well, you can't help that.
So, 2020 hasn't been a very pleasant year for all of us. Plans have been shattered. To-do lists have been thrown away. What plans do you have for 2021 besides the contest? Is there anything specific that you want to put out there?
2021, hopefully, when it comes to events, you'll be seeing Cosplay Arabia a lot more with other events, collaborating as media sponsors and things like that. Because we are in touch with 26 or 27 events with their management and working out how we're going to, support each other next year. Because this year, most events have kind of just backed off because it's uncertain what the situation is going to be in the next few months. But when it comes to next year, yeah, you're going to see Cosplay Arabia a lot more.
Do you want to tell us about the evolution of Kamek, or is that yet to be talked about?
Kamek is an online contest this year, but depending on how it goes, it might not be so online next year. That's all I can say. It might be
That's
more
what I
physical.
wanted to.
Uh,
Okay.
Paris has something to say.
Paris here trying to stir up a storm. From what I know, people want special treatment and refuse to work with changing situations, and then accuse Cosplay Arabia of favoritism. So I don't get it, to be honest. It's not drama when it's related to work. 2020 is cancelled. Okay, so yeah, do you want to say anything about that?
Uh, I don't know. Paris has to tell me a lot more than I need to tell Paris. We love your work. We've already featured you before, so I'm familiar with Paris. I think I've met Paris as well in Dubai. Might not have been the best dinner. She knows what I mean, but you know, misunderstandings happen.
We were there.
Yeah, misunderstandings happen, but that's okay. That's a different topic. But she has to tell me why people don't want to work with us, and we can address it. I know one. There was one thing that was said to iCosplay. That was our cosplay judge at NEFCC. Is people expressed to her the fact that Cosplay Arabia doesn't feature a lot of cosplayers, and we took that feedback. We take criticism. It's fine because it's work, and if we can better ourselves in whatever way, we're going to take it. If it's just, you know, Ibrahim doesn't have hair, I don't care about that. But, but if you're gonna talk about the work, and if it's legitimate, like if I see, hey, they have a point, they're right, then I'm going to address it. And we did address it pretty aggressively for the last 3 months, as you can see, daily features, daily double features sometimes, you know, from every country. So we are featuring cosplayers, and we're being more inclusive. So that was one of the complaints that came to us, and we addressed it head on. Quit Assassin, hala.
Hi, Quit Assassin.
Yeah.
Agreed. When people want to not look into a company themselves and judge them according to hearsay, that's their problem. I mean, I feel like in generally, like when it comes to work or when it comes to professionalism, there would be drama and there would be biased opinions, regardless of whether it's professional or whether it's personal. It only, like, hold on, sorry, I'm trying to scroll to hear what they say. That's their problem. Yeah, like, I mean, in general, like when you, let's say, hear a rumor about someone, and I'm not talking like this is a general. I'm just saying this generally. Like when you hear a rumor about someone, and you don't really know them very well, and you choose or like you distance yourself from potential opportunities to work with that person or to like have some sort of collaboration that would benefit a lot of people, not just you two. And when you choose to just like go with that rumor, you know, like based on what people have been saying here and there, if you choose to stick to that without actually putting an effort into getting to know the person or getting to know the like their own opinions on things, if you don't invest in that, then you're the one that's losing here. You know?
There's a thing I tell Haneen all the time, and I say this about like couples when they fight. I always tell Haneen there's two sides to every story. You know, I'm friends with Hassan, and Hassan's my guy. But when Hassan has a fight with somebody, I'm going to listen to Hassan. I'm going to empathize with him. But I also know that somebody else has their own point of view and what they thought
There are
happened.
two sides of every story.
Exactly. So unless
and
you
I
know
think it's
both
always
sides,
fair to like know both sides. Yeah.
unless you know both sides, it's unfair for you to distance yourself from someone or not give them an opportunity. We've had a lot of people that did tell us, "Oh, don't work with this guy." I mean, coming back to Paris, we had the same thing happen reverse. We had this thing where, "Oh, don't feature this guy or this girl or this one's, you know, deviant of whatever nature, and don't feature them." But we're featuring everyone because the thing is, I'm not going to take away that opportunity from that person. I don't know that person. You know, I don't know what their side of the event is. It might be true, what they're saying. It might not be true. But as a platform or as a company, am I going to take that risk or am I going to exclude anyone? No. We have featured people that have said nasty things to us. You know, like keeping our personal things aside, we always look forward to what the community needs and what the company needs, and that always comes first. So, I mean, to say that we would not do something on hearsay, I don't think that works.
Okay. In a professional way, if they don't want to work with you, when yeah, they can share the address with their concerns and see where to go from there. Exactly, that's what I was saying. Like, always keep it professional, unless, unless you see that that person or that company or that organization or whatever doesn't have the mindset to have a back and forth conversation in order to set things, you know, like in order to hatch things out. You know
True.
what I mean, don't you?
Yes, I don't know what you mean.
Okay.
But
Anyways,
yeah.
moving on. What are some of your favorite games or animes? Okay, here's a little bit an icebreaker. Favorite
Okay.
games or anime? Okay, go first.
Uh, so the reason why Cosplay Arabia works is because me and Haneen are kind of like two sides of a coin. So when it comes to anime, I don't know much. I've heard a lot. I've
Same.
heard, I don't know, is Death Note an anime? I'm assuming yes. So I've watched a little bit of Death Note. Uh, I know of a few animes, but that one is completely handled by Haneen. Now, when it comes to gaming, I'm an old school gamer. I'm the Resident Evil era guy. So, you know,
Same.
Mortal Kombat, Resident Evil, Street Fighter, Last of Us Part 1. I'm not even going to start talking about Last of Us Part 2 because I have read things that I should not have read.
Oh yeah, about part two.
Yeah. And of course, like games like Metal Gear Solid. You know, I've grown up on those type of games, and I've always played the sequels.
I think we're very similar. Like me myself, like I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of anime. The only anime that I binge watched was Attack on Titan, and I fell in love with that. And as for the games, same. Like I mean, GTA is an OG. Don't hate me. Assassin's Creed, uh, Tomb Raider, Red Dead, Dead Rising. Like I love a story game, and open world story games are my favorite.
Exactly.
Um,
Tomb Raider, the new one. Me and Haneen loved the new one because Haneen completely hated the old one for its. Well, you guys can figure it out.
the new one on PS4.
Yeah,
I agree.
Haneen hated
Okay,
the over sexualized initial Tomb Raiders. She hates those. So, and I never really played them because the controls were always dodgy.
pixel.
Yeah, no, the controls were dodgy. If you remember the PC versions, the early PC
Mhm.
versions were kind of up was down, down was up. It was just a completely mess. But the new one, the PS4 version, is like,
Lara Croft is not pixelated anymore. Okay, time for me to cause. Wait. Okay. Okay, wait. Let me go up. Let me go up. Okay. Time for me to cause some trouble. Let's say you and Haneen had a disagreement. Do you flip a coin?
when me and Hanyan have a disagreement, I try to see her point of view, and then I selfishly do what I want. No, I'm kidding. We actually do try to see each other's point of view, and then we usually meet in the middle. That's usually. Sometimes I'm really headstrong because I have like a vision for something like 5 steps ahead. So I'm like, wait for it. I'm doing this for that reason, and then we kind of agree over there.
Then Haneen said, now we have a cat who is the deciding factor, does the make.
Yes,
And does.
cat.
Do you guys still have the cats?
Of course, we have 2 now. We saved one. You remember the one that we rescued from the
The
signal?
black one, right?
No, the beige with the black spot on the face.
Oh, yeah.
That one we rescued. That's still with us, and the original black one that you know, cat.
The little one.
The little one.
I remember, this is from Yami. I remember meeting Ibrahim, Haneen, and Hassan at MEFCC for the first time, and I was instantly impressed and envisioned a great future for Cosplay Arabia and for them, honestly. Yeah, I mean,
Thank
I think MEFCC was really the blow up for Cosplay Arabia. I mean, for me personally, it was an amazing experience, and till this day, I thank you guys for that opportunity.
You're welcome.
But I
That
think
was
that
all
was
you.
like,
Yeah.
I think like MEFCC last year was the turning point. A lot of people got to know us, a lot of people were introduced, a lot of people were impressed. So yeah,
Previously, because we were so based in Bahrain, and we just did one shoot in Saudi. I'm still waiting to go back to Riyadh. I can't wait to meet the Riyadh people again. So it wasn't really well known until MEFCC happened. And giving a shout out to Ayman from MEFCC and Informa, he's a great dude, and he got us in to be media partners with them in 2019. And that's when, because MEFCC is such a platform where you get cosplayers from pretty much all of Middle East. So at least somebody passed by us and got to know, oh, there is a magazine now. And that's the reason why it blew up from there. At least in terms of awareness, people knew we existed.
Yeah. Also, did you notice that I have my Maleficent poster?
Right.
And I have some of the shots from like previous conventions. I have the Marlon Manson pictures, the Edward Scissorhands. I have them all on the wall. I have a selfie. I have a selfie of us in the elevator after MEFCC.
I need to see that wall after this live. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you a close-up shot. Death Note, yay! People are talking about Death Note. Hold on, let's see. Yes, everything must go through and be approved by our cat, the hidden secret judge.
Haneen, don't give away our secrets. Haneen's giving away secrets.
Wait, Assassin has a question. For Cosplay Arabia, how many Bahraini cosplayers do you guys have in the group of Cosplay Arabia?
Cosplay Arabia is an umbrella, it's not a group. So when it comes to people we've worked with in Bahrain, I think it's over 20. You remember the shoots we did? I mean, we had
it was a team. Honestly, it was a team.
Yeah, we had Reem, who was doing a lot of the VFX makeup. We had Sam. We had tons of cosplayers that we shot. Layla. Amani was there. OGs. The OGs, yeah. The originals are always, we're still in touch with them, and that's the best part.
Anya. I forgot Anya.
Anya was on the cover. I mean, you can't forget the cover girl.
Cover girl.
Yeah.
Why aren't you guys cooperating with the biggest pop culture convention in Bahrain? There are so many pop culture conventions in Bahrain.
I think it mentions Bahrain Comic Con specifically. We initially did try to work with them, but it didn't work out. But I think now with some changes in Bahrain Comic Con, we're open to work with them, depending on if they're willing to work with us.
Next question. AwesomeOlogy, your makeup is always fantastic. I remember seeing you. Thank you so much. Thank you. The old Tomb Raider was played only to block the butler in the freezer. Oh yeah, I remember. You could take him to the freezer and close the door on him.
Who said that? That's the best,
Saad. Yeah. I remember, there was a big mansion. Mm-hmm. You could walk around, and she had a gym. I'm always impressed with AwesomeOlogy's work. Thank you, Paris. Top 3 favorite musicians or bands? Questions for both of you.
Top 3 musical bands.
Yeah, I know you guys like Metallica, right?
We like Metallica, Linkin Park, and then throw any random pop song name from the radio, and you probably like it. I know Haneen likes Rihanna and things like that. So yeah. So the third spot goes to literally anything on the radio.
For me personally, well, there's a band called IMX. They're not really well known, but their music genre is very interesting. It's like a mixture of pop and rock at the same time. And I learned from them from the crime series How to Get Away with Murder. Mm-hmm. Most of their songs were used as soundtracks in the show, and that's when I fell in love with their type of music. I can send you some recommendations.
Yeah, definitely.
So IMX, Imagine Dragons. Who else?
You guys want to hear a funny story about Linkin Park? When you finish your list, I'll tell you.
I mean, I don't have a third one specifically.
Is it like me? Anything on the radio?
Yeah, you can say so. Anything on the radio. So tell us an interesting story about Linkin Park.
So back in school, I actually did a Linkin Park song on stage. I actually sang a Linkin Park song on stage.
You sang?
Yes. I wouldn't call it singing. I would call it not the Chester part. Chester was very high, and I can't hit those notes. I was doing more of the rap part. And
wait, you can sing?
I can rap a little bit. And
Come
yes,
on, you never told us.
yeah, Lincoln Park is everything. Yeah, me, all right. And the best part about that was halfway through, through the performance, one of the people backstage stumbled upon the electronic cable, the extension cable, and just cut off everything except the mics. So that was fun. So
So it
all
was
the
karaoke,
instruments,
basically.
so no, all the instruments went dead.
Oh, so it was just you singing.
It was just, and the guy who was doing Chester's part, his mic died halfway through the performance. So it was a
Oh.
train wreck. That was like the most. That was when I had more respect for Linkin Park and decided never to touch that again.
But that's interesting. Like, we want to see more of you guys involved. Like, with when it comes to talents and performances, we want to see you guys cosplay again because that's how you guys started. You were cosplay, so we want to see you guys in cosplay and show us your talent. You can sing, you can rap, you can perform. Like, we want to see that. I think that would be
I mean,
interesting.
cosplay. Haneen is planning. Haneen is up to something really like. You guys just gotta wait a little bit. I know what she's up to, and once that's done, she's gonna be cosplaying. What I understand. I will get back to cosplaying as well, but it's not gonna be announced. Probably just surprise you guys at an event.
That I can't wait to see you guys in cosplay again. Favorite food? Pizza.
For
The
us?
most generic answer, yeah.
Oh yeah. I would say pizza. Yeah.
Pizza.
I don't know why people are
And
asking
burger.
these questions.
From
But
Burger
okay.
Fuel, remember?
I mean, is anyone buying us a pizza or what's happening here? But yeah, thanks for the questions. Thanks for being here. Anyway,
The shady
Let's see.
question game begins. Okay, bring him on. Um, just a suggestion. Why don't you do a story photo shoots like Comical Way?
what do you mean story photo shoots? We do organize photo shoots. I mean, you're aware. We rented out a studio for, I think, how many weeks was that? Every weekend we were there, and we were doing
ACA?
exclusively, yeah, ACA. We were doing exclusively cosplay shoots. So we did run those, and we did that in Riyadh as well. And we're planning to do that in Dubai once the lockdown is over. So that's another thing that you guys should look forward to. Ah, Haitham is here.
As in
Haitham.
comics, but photos instead of drawings.
Okay. Well, if you guys are aware, the last MEFCC 2020 video done by Enforcer, Mustafa, he did the similar thing where he had the comic book open up and everyone's videos were in it. So I think that's what
I
you're
was a part
going
of
with.
it.
You were a part of it, of course. So I think that's what you guys mean. And, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. We'll definitely put it up on the board and see how that goes. I wanted to put a little plug in for Haitham here because for people that don't know, Geek Boss in Bahrain, he's with us here. And Geek Boss is the first photographer. So we were in our Assassin's Creed cosplays and we wanted to get out of them because it was pretty hot that day and whatever. So on our way out, I spotted Haitham. I didn't know Haitham at the time. And I noticed I think he had a 5D or he had a really good camera. So to the embarrassment of Haneen, I walked up to him. His back was turned to me. I tapped his shoulder and I said, "Hi, you have a really nice camera. Can you take a picture of us?" And and he took some pictures, which I will be posting on Cosplay Arabia probably next week or the week after for everyone to see.
Of you guys?
That's me and Haneen. Yeah, some of our best pictures that were ever taken were from Haitham. So a big shout out and love to him.
I meant completely different idea, just like telling a story by photo shoots.
Oh. Well, that would need a little bit of storyboarding and getting a lot of cosplayers involved. It's a little involved, generally, in terms of scope, but it is a great idea. I mean, I don't see that not working. We had a similar idea when it came to a writer that we were trying to work with, but it didn't really work through.
I
Blackmail
think you guys also had the Dungeons and Dragons thing.
As in?
You remember the Dungeons and Dragons?
the story writer, you mean, or
Yeah, like the comic idea.
we had something similar? You're right, but
Yeah.
it didn't pan out. But we can always revisit it.
In your opinion, what makes a cosplayer a pro cosplayer?
A professional cosplayer for me is someone that is putting in the time and is looking at their overall growth. There are some really good performers and there's some really good models. Cosplay modeling is a real thing. I mean, there's a lot of people that get hate for not making their cosplay, but they don't see that if you're not making the cosplay, you're carrying it well, you're in character, and you're putting up a performance, which is basically our exhibition category in our contest. That itself is also a cosplayer. So anyone who dons a suit is basically a cosplayer at the end of the day, to be inclusive. But if you want to talk about a professional cosplayer, then it's someone who's crafting or stitching or designing OG cosplays or things like these. That's where you come into the professional category, where you have experience and you can reproduce your results in a professional, like a very high quality finish.
Can OG cosplayers be considered pro cosplayers? Like ones who do original characters and original ideas?
Yeah, we actually did consider having an entire category for them, but then it was becoming too many categories and too many prizes, so we had to narrow it down. But I think original cosplays do have a place when it comes to, cosplay itself, and they should be recognized, because when it comes to character building, that's something that's actually profitable, that's something marketable, and that's something that they can actually do as a career in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, because it requires like vision and ingenuity, and it requires a bit of skill, of course, to make it.
Depth and story, yeah. I want to give a quick shout out to Apula from Sri Lanka, because she does that. She creates her own characters, and she is basically a character creator. Like, she creates a character with a storyline and then builds the costume, builds the hair, and puts effort into tiny details that goes into the character. So big shout out to Apula from Sri Lanka.
We are having our eye on Apula as well. So we do love her work. We love her work, and we love what she represents. And we think it's great for cosplayers in general. Haitham wants to wear a yellow T-shirt and cosplay. Haitham, you could wear nothing and it would be cosplay. Right.
People do that. It's a thing.
It's a thing. I'm gonna be the exclusive photographer for Haitham's, Patreon one day.
Even if it was commissioned by a professional guy, but I'm not a professional at all. I don't get it. Is it about the photography, or is it about the... I don't get it.
Even if it's commissioned by... I think Batman is trying to say, Batman Dubai, shout out to you. I think he's trying to say that commissioned cosplays fall under a totally different category. If you are trying to portray a commissioned cosplay, the crafter or the builder has to be present and they're awarded. This is the international norm, is that, let's say Batman is not the one who made his Batsuit, okay? Somebody else did. Well, that somebody else gets the award, not Batman. Batman is literally just a man in a costume at this
designer.
point. The designer, the crafter, the builder, that person gets the award because they're the ones who made the costume. Batman is basically, in this place, a living mannequin, essentially.
A model.
Because he's just modeling, exactly.
Modeling. Okay. Hope that answers the question. We can go for like 5 more minutes because my phone's about to die, and I feel like we've covered up a lot.
All right.
From like the origins of Cosplay Arabia and a lot of intel about Cosplay Arabia. So if there's anything specific that people want to know, please type it down because we're editing. I think
Batman has another question. I'll answer it because I can see it right here.
Okay.
If Batman, you would fall under the exhibition category because you did not build your cosplay. That's simple as it goes because it was professionally made. So you're basically a cosplay model at this point, and you would be falling under the exhibition category. Now, the prizes are different than the crafters because, of course, the number of hours and effort is different. So it's everyone's being rewarded according to the effort.
Hassan, Cosplay Arabia, in your opinion, who's the most professional cosplayer in Bahrain? I don't want to be present in that shoot. I can start my Haytham Dude War career.
Dude War, yes.
Dude War.
Yes, okay.
I have a whole story with OG cosplayers. I'm hoping to make it come true one day. That's awesome. I mean, I personally salute OG characters more than, like, no shade, but like, there's more realism when it goes to OG characters. Because cosplay, like, again, no shade to cosplayers who try to mimic, like, actual, like, fictional characters, and no shade for those who want to look exactly like the character. But for me, personally, even if I were to do a character, I always like to add my personal touch into the character, my style, to represent me through the character. You know what I mean? That's how I see cosplay. That's why most of my cosplays are not, you know, I don't try to mimic the character. And some people may think that that is unprofessional or that is not the right way to do it, but it is the right way in my mind. So, like, I think I'm doing it professionally for myself. As for the professional question, wait. In your opinion, who's the most professional cosplayer in Bahrain? Well, in Bahrain, like, I think in Bahrain, we have a community more than other countries in the GCC because we're a small community and we all know each other, we all have contact with each other. So I don't think there's a specific one or two persons that are like, I don't think there's one professional person here. I think we're all professionals in different ways. And someone that deserves recognition when it comes to cosplay in Bahrain is Fufi. Now, being biased, but Fufi was one of the OGs that started the cosplay community here in Bahrain. And there were a lot of people after her that no longer cosplay, but she is one of those people that continues to craft, continues to perform, continues to do it professionally. So if I were to pick one person, it would be Fufi.
Fufi is actually one of the first person. Remember I told you the Superman casual cosplay? I have a picture with Fufi. She did a very big wing and sword cosplay. I don't know from which genre. But yeah, Fufi is definitely one of the OGs that deserves recognition who made cosplays in Bahrain.
You get the award to put in as the work making and designing. As an artist, that's only fair. Yeah, like it's fair when it comes to like you give a shout out to the designer. Okay, let's try to answer as much as possible because my phone's about to die. It's at 5%. Because I want to know if you got the chance of joining World Cosplay Summit, who would you guys recommend to represent? Well, when I heard about the World Cosplay Summit, I was considering it in Bahrain, but there were, like, I know that World Cosplay Summit requires a pair, like 2 people.
Yeah.
So I was considering doing it with multiple people. Like I had a list of people that I could go with. Again, like because we're a small community, so I could do it. Other people can do it. I mean, I would try to compete if it happened, but I don't know with who. No one complains when a DJ remixes a song. Artists deserve recognition. I mean, in representing Bahrain, great. You can represent the cosplay character with a little touch of your personality, and that will showcase you exactly.
I'm gonna give a wave out to Yassi really quick because she's
yeah.
she's one of the sweetest persons we know. I think we released very few pictures of her. Catwoman, exactly. But she's been like very vocal supportive of us. So thank you, much appreciated.
Yeah, she's so sweet. She comments on everyone's posts, and she's like basically a cheerleader. Okay, so I guess that's it. Thank you so much for being a guest on my live chat, and I hope that we have covered as many topics as we could.
Yeah, if anyone has a question, let's just do this again. How many people want us to do this again? Let's just put it down there. Let's put
We're doing it again, but we're also doing it with Haneen. Yeah.
More fun.
Next week,
Less boring.
We'll sort it out.
You guys should definitely go for that one.
Yeah, because like I wanted me to interview both at the same time, but you know, with the current situation, it's not possible. But inshallah, next week we'll plan something out with Haneen. I really enjoyed your
Inshallah.
lesson. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Batman.
And of course, we can have a part 2 with you as well. We'll try.
By
Yes,
audience
Haneen,
demand.
yes.
All
Okay.
right, thanks
Thank
a
you
lot,
guys
guys,
so
for
much for
coming.
watching.
Thanks for having me. Hassan.
And this will be posted on my IGTV stories if anyone wants to check it. Part 2, yes, definitely have a part 2. Okay, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Ibrahim. Stay safe.
You're
and
welcome.
I'll
You
see
too.
soon.